one of the most interesting aspects of Disney as a company is their animated films. They've made some masterpieces, some classic films that have defined childhoods everywhere, like The Lion King. They've also made some bad movies. But anyway, leading up to the release of their newest film, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I decided to rewatch or watch all the Disney animated films. And then I decided, you know what, why not rank all the eras? Because I do plan on doing a Disney animated film ranking when Encanto comes out, but that's probably going to be a really long video, and if you couldn't surmise from my Pixar ranking, I have a tendency to kind of go off on tangents. So I feared that I would talk for too long and make that video over 2 hours. And I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do my in-depth thoughts in these videos here. And then do my quick thoughts in the Disney ranking that will come when in whatever comes out. So first up, we have the Golden Age, the first era of Disney films, and their shortest actually. It only has 5 movies. So today I, the film watcher, shall be ranking every Golden Age Disney film, from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs to Bambi. With that said, let's do this. In last place, by far, is Dumbo. I hate Dumbo. And I think I can say with some safeness that it's not just a bad movie. It is a factually bad movie. This is hardly my opinion. It is a fact that Dumbo is a bad movie. I'm not just saying this because I dislike it, which I do, exponentially so, but it is bad. Like, I don't care that it's cheap. That doesn't bother me. The animation is actually one of the strongest aspects of the film. Dumbo himself and Timothy Mouse are actually pretty solid. Some of the songs are nice. But the film has such a mean spirit to it that feels so non-Disney. Like, every character that's not Dumbo, who doesn't talk, Timothy Mouse, and Dumbo's mom, who has about 15 minutes of screen time, is the worst person on the face of the planet. Like all these other elephants, everyone from the circus, every single person are complete jerks. Like, Dumbo's adorable. How could you not like him? But, and it just feels so cynical and so wrong for Disney, especially at that time when they were making some really, really solid movies. Also, this movie has some really, really bad racial stereotyping. Like, of course, there's the crows, which are just uncomfortable. But even more uncomfortable, at the beginning of the movie, in like the first 10 minutes, there's a bunch of muscular, faceless black men. Now, I'm not kidding, they do not have faces. Who come out and sing a song about how they're rowdy roustabouts and how they're very happy with what they're doing. During this entire like 2.5 minute song, I sat and stared at my screen. Just it bothers me that Disney did this. And they can put out all the disclaimers they want. They still did it. It still exists. So yeah. Oh yeah, and because of all that stereotyping, this movie has some really flawed messaging. Because, the message of the movie is don't judge a book by its cover, don't judge people based on their differences. When this movie does everything to judge people by their differences. The point of the film is to not judge a book by its cover. Yet this movie continually judges people by how they look. So yes, this is a terrible, horrible movie. I hate it. Not only because it's like technically awful, it is just a bad, tasteless movie. Just it bothers me, is all. Number 4, Pinocchio. This movie is a pretty big step up from Dumbo in terms of quality. It's fine, I guess. Yeah, there's way too many villains in this movie. It is aggressively dark for little kids. Like, As a little kid, I was never shown Pinocchio or Dumbo. Dumbo is easy to see why. Pinocchio is also easy to see why. Like there's smoking, mild swears, kids turning into donkeys. It's a weird movie. Anyway, the climax also feels like really far removed from where it started. Like at the beginning of this movie, it's about a little wooden puppet who wants to become a real boy. But at the end, it's about that same wooden puppet trying to escape the mouth of a gargantuan whale. It just feels a little different from when we started out with. Now, despite the fact that the movie has too many villains, all of them are good. Honest John is fun. The Stromboli is fun. Monstro the whale has a really cool design. Honest John has a sidekick who's okay. Oh yeah, and also I didn't give this movie's villain enough credit. The Coachman is a freaking lunatic. He kidnaps little kids, takes them away from their families, takes them to Pleasure Island, and then turns them into donkeys and ships them off into slavery. This dude's an absolute monster. Like, seriously. And then there's the scene where he's telling Honest John his plan, and for a brief second, he turns into the devil. His face literally morphs into that of a psychotic demon of hell. It creeps me out. Anyway, so yeah, I like this movie. It has some good characters. There's some really nice songs in it. Jiminy Cricket is a really good character. So yeah, it's a solid movie. Number 3, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The only complaint I could level against this movie is that the main character is really stupid. I get the point of the story is that she's naive, but this is not naive. This is like, does she have a brain at all? Like the dwarves specifically tell her, avoid strangers, and then she just lets this horrifying looking old lady into her house. Just, she's an idiot. Oh yeah. Also the whole concept of the prince kissing this random girl he finds in the woods and then bringing her off to his literal castle on a cloud may have been okay in 1937, but at this point it just seems a little bit creepy. Also, I hate this prince. He gets like 5 minutes of screen time. And the first time he meets Snow White, he scares her, she runs away, and then he sings this absolutely god awful song, and then immediately she's smitten with him. Yeah, the songs about love in this movie are really stupid. The song that the prince sings is dumb. The song that Snow White sings about someday my prince will come is just... yeah, so... yeah, there's that. But also, this movie has some really good stuff in it. The villain, I did not give enough credit before. She is awesome. She's slightly less good than Maleficent. She doesn't have a very strong motivation. She's just so flipping evil. I love it. And then the dwarves, of course, are really good. They're all have very distinct personalities, even if their names, some of them aren't really personality traits. They're just sleepy. Sleeping is not a personality trait. I don't care. The dwarves are great, and they kind of make up for all the dumb stuff in this movie. There's some decent songs as well. Hi Ho, of course, is the highlight. So, yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. Good first effort for Disney. Number 2, Fantasia. I've seen this movie at the top of a lot of people's Disney lists. I don't quite agree, because there's a pretty mixed bag when it comes to all the segments in the movie. Like, there's some really good ones, and then there's some really stupid ones. Like the Greek mythology thing, I was rolling my eyes for the entire experience. And then to immediately follow that up with the dancing ballet animals, to which I wanted to scream into a pillow. Yeah. There's some really bad stuff in this movie. There's some kind of medium stuff that's just okay. Like the dancing bows at the beginning was pretty okay. The Nutcracker Suite was, I guess, decent, especially those funny looking mushrooms. But this movie has so much artistic merit. And a lot of that goes back to the 3 segments that I consider to be really good. One of them is the dinosaur one, which is really good, especially that fight between the Tyrannosaurus Rex and the Stegosaurus, even though the two didn't really exist at the same time period, but still. Anyway, and then the two best segments in this entire movie are the Sorcerer's Apprentice, which it's just fun. Like I watched The Sorcerer's Apprentice so much as a kid, even if I didn't watch this movie all that much. But yeah, it's awesome. And then there's The Night on Bald Mountain, which I have learned to appreciate more and more as I've gotten older. It's awesome. Like to see this beastly creature just tormenting these demons, making them seem great at first and then just burning them alive. I love it. So yeah, of course the music is great in this movie. The animation is stunning, even though there's a lot of uncomfortable nudity. This movie still has so much artistic merit that it makes up for all the mediocre and bad stuff that's in it as well. Anyway, number one, Bambi. This movie thrives on its simplicity. It doesn't have a complex story at all. It's really simple, it's really straightforward. You could summarize it in one sentence. Of course, I won't because I'm lazy. Anyway, it has some really nice characters. The only problem I have with the movie is that the songs are really forgettable and not that necessary. Whereas with all these other movies, even Dumbo, I hate Dumbo, and it has some really good songs. This movie is kind of the reverse. It's a great movie and not bad, but it also has some kind of lame songs in it. So yeah, everything else in this movie is great. The way it switches feelings so flawlessly is is masterful. It's commendable. I cannot believe how easily this movie transitions from fun and happiness to danger, fear, and anxiety, especially in the scene leading up to Bambi's mom's death. Oh yeah, also this movie has like an unflinching amount of death in it, and they do not gloss over any of it. Like it is all seen. It all happens really fast, and it's all great. I like it when Disney does these kind of conceptual villains, and Man in this movie is kind of the embodiment of that. He's a great villain, even if we never see him or them. I don't know. Even like a shadow. There is no shadow in this movie. So, yeah. There, of course, there's also Bambi's mom's death, which is one of the saddest things I've ever seen. It's so sorrowful because you just get this really anxiety inducing chase where Bambi and his mom are just running away at breakneck speed, and then this gunshot rings out, and then silence. And then the crushing reality of the situation sets in, and we get to see Bambi's reaction. It's just an amazing movie. It's a fantastic example of everything that Disney's capable of. The animation is gorgeous. So, yes, it is my personal favorite film of this era. So, I'll probably be getting to the wartime era soon enough. That ought to be fun. I haven't seen any of those movies yet, and some of them I'm not looking forward to watching. So, thank you guys for watching this video, and always keep calm and